How's it going, everybody? Jeff Slakey from iFiber 1 KMAS. I'm here at Central Mason Fire and EMS with Chief Mike Patti. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm well. Happy New Year.
Good, thanks.
I was reading an article over the break about homes that, 30 years ago, people had about 15 or 20 minutes to be able to get out of their home once they smell smoke or hear a smoke detector. And those numbers have gone down dramatically now, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So I couldn't believe that article when I read it, so I had to come to you and ask you if that's accurate and why some of those reasons.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes is pretty generous. I've seen it as little as even 45 seconds. And it's depending on the contents of the house, depending on the size of the house. And it's not so much the building construction as much as some people say. Granted, some of the building construction is smaller, and we have nail plates that are smaller, but a lot of it contributes to the contents of the house.
So what you have in your home, just the way that different pieces of furniture have been made over the years,
right.
And the transitions to, I know a lot of people appreciate the cheaper abilities to buy couches and things like that, but that does come at a cost.
Correct. In the 60s, we all had textile furniture, excuse me, and cotton batting that made the cushions in that. And today's materials is all synthetics and foam rubber that's all petroleum based. It's like gasoline. So and it reaches its flash point a lot faster, and it gets a lot hotter a lot quicker.
And so then that helps, I guess not helps, but then helps the spread more quickly if the components of the fabrics and the textiles are similar throughout the home. It kind of acts as a conduit almost.
Correct, and just acts as kindling to the other combustibles in the house.
So what are people supposed to do? That's a limited time, and that's hopeful that the smoke detector or the fire alarms go off as soon as that fire starts.
Correct. If you wake up to the sound, and I don't know about you, but when I wake up to any kind of a sound in the middle of the night, I don't wake up alert. I wake up kind of have to shake my head and hear what's going on. And that all takes time. And if you have to do that and you have to go searching around to find your kids and that, go downstairs if you live in a 2-story house and make your way out. It all takes time. And the best thing you can do is if you have kids in your 2nd-story house or your wife, significant other, get out of the house as fast as you can. Don't go back in because you're just going to become another rescue and recovery object.
I've seen for 2-story homes, they have those foldable or roll-up ladders that you can push out the window and then climb down the backside. We actually bought one. We saw one on sale and said, boy, this is something that we don't have in our home and would be very good to have in Kaiser's room.
Sure.
And to kind of show him the processes of that and explain to him why it's there.
The most important thing for the kids, or matter of fact for anybody, is at night when you're sleeping, sleep with the door closed.
Okay.
Sleeping with the door closed, if you have a fire in the house, that'll buy you additional time. If you wake up to a smoke detector, feel the door with the back of your hand. If it's hot, then you can go to your window and look for a different way to leave the home. If it's cool, open the door slowly, make sure that there's no smoke up in the overhead, and then you might be able to make your way down the hallway to exit.
We know that heat rises and smoke rises, and we've been taught over the years, if you're able to get on your hands and knees and crawl through. And actually, you have a piece to show about the difference in temperature from ground level to just a few feet up. So what are we looking at here?
A few years ago, in a different life, this is a part of a breathing apparatus mask that firefighters wear when they go into a building. And when we enter a building, we normally enter crawling on our stomachs. And crawling on our stomach, we'll stop and tend to survey the area. This person was wearing a mask with this kind of a visor, and when he stopped and got on his knees and sat up, this is what his mask turned into.
Holy moly, Rod, I don't know if you can see this, but you can obviously see that the plastic is destroyed here. And what do you think the temperature on this
probably went from maybe 150, 200 degrees at the floor to probably 1,500 degrees there. Wow. And that's about a 30-second exposure to the temperature. All this firefighter suffered here was a second-degree blister on his nose. It did destroy his turnout gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was lucky to get out with just that. But
So,
that's a difference of just going from crawling on your stomach to being on your knees and sitting up to get the difference. And there's a difference too in the air quality, where it's going to be smoky and hot at the ground, but if you panic and sit up or stand up, the toxins in the atmosphere will definitely put you to the ground.
So if someone is looking to refurnish their home these days, is it more difficult to find the products of yesteryear that were less flammable, or are they more unique, handcrafted couches or sofas, or how do you go about making sure you have things in your home that aren't going to just go up in flames?
Well, I think modern furnishings today are all going to be the synthetics. I think that's just the way of the world today. I think making sure that you furnish your home so you've got an adequate egress. You know, your way of exiting the house is always kept clear. Fire departments now today are really pushing residential sprinkler systems. A smoke detector will tell you, yes, there's a smoke condition or a fire condition present in the house. It does nothing to put the fire out.
Sure.
Residential sprinkler systems normally will put the fire out with one or two heads. It doesn't set off the entire sprinkler system throughout the house. It's just one or two heads, and it'll put the fire out. It saves lives. It's not a building safety system, it's a life safety system. And where you have, without a sprinkler system, you have 45 seconds to a minute to get out of the house. That sprinkler system will put the fire out and allow you to exit the house safely.
One thing I'm thinking about with new homes, it's often more of a open concept. There's a lot more open space to move about for folks. And I guess if you're trying to navigate those scenarios, you may be able to get out. But then I look around Shelton, and we are blessed, really, to have some beautiful old turn-of-the-century homes. But those homes all have little rooms or little outlets here and there, and that would make it even more difficult to get out of the home when it's furnished with the new material.
It is, and a lot of the smaller homes, that's the thing about knowing your home. Practice exiting the house in the middle of the night. Before your kids go to bed at night, have your kids lay in bed and then sound an alarm. Pop a spoon on a pot if you want, and have them practice getting out of the house, getting down on the floor and crawling to the hallway, checking the door, and then crawling down a hallway and meeting at home, getting out of the house and meeting at a spot out in the front yard. And also pushing real heavily, don't go back in. If Fido doesn't come back out or the kitty doesn't come out, don't go back in. Once you come out of the house, stay out of the house.
Some good tips. You can always find information about things going on here at Central Mason Fire and EMS on their website. We have a lot of great other fire districts in Mason County that you can reach out and contact too as well, and throughout our whole listening area. Central Mason Fire and EMS Chief Mike Patti here with me today, giving us some tips on the homes and the changes that we've seen over the last 30 years or so, where a lot of the materials in our homes are a lot more flammable, and it puts us at a lot greater risk to be able to get out of there in a safe amount of time. I appreciate you taking some time with me today to talk about this.
Thanks for coming in, Jeff.
And I know it's a big subject, and I think if folks can take a couple steps here and there, that may go a long way to help you if you and the crews have to come on scene.
Exactly. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.